So I will let you guys hear cold startup and first startup for when everything was installed. Here is the gauge that comes with the port injection. They have a different location. I just happen to have a gauge pod. I like that better. They had it installed behind the screen, but I didn't want to put it there. That's my line lock. Like that there. But anyway, you can put it back there if you like, or you can order a gauge pod, which I opted to do. You got different options. You can look at bank 1 and bank 2. You can look at bank 1 and fuel pressure. Either way, but I will let you guys see what this thing sounds like with the cam in it. Weapons X cam, Weapons X port injection. The blower was custom made by Weapons X. All the parts I have on this vehicle came from Weapons X. Sound stock, right? Pretty street legal. Alright guys, sorry for the long wait, but I have 2 full-time jobs. One that pays the bills, and the second being a 1-year-old. So I only get to work on this vehicle 1 day a week. I actually have had this all put together for a couple of weeks now, about maybe 3 or 4 weeks. However, I just didn't get around to doing the video. So for those of you who have been wanting to see this, there's not much information or videos out there. I believe there is one other guy that I know of that has the Edelbrock version of the 2650 on a C7 Vet. I'll go over a couple things, let you guys know some things that I ran into, some things that I figured out. And the question everybody wants to know is, does it fit under the hood? The answer is yes. However, you should do one of 2 things. It does fit under the hood. It will snap close with the regular lid. All of my stuff came from Weapons X, and they do make a smaller lid. So if you can see here, there's a little hump in the lid. I'm gonna jack this name up. It is maybe AMG Z06. He is on Instagram. I couldn't find him on YouTube. I don't have any social media. I just have this YouTube, so I can't find people on Facebook or anything like that. My mechanic reached out to him, so we asked him a couple of questions. He has a silver Z06 C7 version, and he does have this supercharger on his. He did change the top lid. You change the lid, it will give you a little better clearance. So if you can see right here in this corner, that will touch, it closes, but it will touch against the top of the hood right up here. Now, he took his liner off. I put mine back on for a couple of reasons. Cosmetically, I like the way it looks over just the back of the metal hood on white anyway. His is silver, so his hood looks a little better, but with the white one, I didn't really like the way it looked bare. So with this touching the tip of the hood, you will get some vibration or chatter. You get the smaller lid, you don't have that issue. I opted to keep the bigger lid. It's not much lid there as it is. I didn't want to go smaller. I will show you the smaller version. Weapons X can fabricate it and make it for you. They did make it for me. My mechanic, however, came up with the bright idea of extending. So this is the factory little hood pins or clips, whatever you want to call it, that locks it in place. And he just put a little spacer here, which gives me just enough space to it gives that some leeway, relief space, if you want to call it. Here's the other side. It did the same thing to both, and what that did was create a little space between, you know, the little pressure point where the little edge will touch against the top of your hood. Then I put the liner back on. The liner will keep it from vibrating. So that's what I did. I went with the spacer. It's not sold anywhere. My mechanic actually fabricated and made it, so you can trace it and, you know, cut it out, sand it down yourself. Thank you, Trevor. Great idea. So here's the other lid. Humps slightly smaller. Let me actually turn it. Gets rid of that little area where it would touch when you got the flat. It's still, you know, but anyway, Weapons X provided that. So that's one of two options to go with, but it will fit. I'll close the hood and I'll let you guys see. Give me a second and I will shut this thing for you. All right, here we go. Let's close it. So it does close, and actually I usually close it slow, and then I just push the rest of the way down. A little pressure there, it snaps and it shuts. That's with the little spacer on it, just to relieve a little pressure, but works great. All right, next, I'll just give you guys a look at what it looks like. I have a Weapons X version, so here's my fuel rails for the port injection. Fuel rails, I got the flex fuel sensor. This supercharger does come with a with valve cover that goes over here that just covers all this stuff up. However, it does not fit one. If you got port injection with these rails here, it just doesn't fit. So I opted to go with this blower over Magnuson because one, Magnuson they didn't release theirs yet when I actually ordered this blower. This was back in February of 2019 of this year that I ordered the blower. And it took a while to get it in, and then it took a while for me to get this vehicle all you know, set up with all the upgrades that you can see in the first video. Anyway, I went with this blower because it is capable of port injection, and the Magnuson is not. It is a pretty blower. It's nice looking. They have different cooling set up for it, but Magnuson, the DI 2650R or R2650, I think that's the model number. I'm guessing that DI stands for direct injection. Only modification that you would need to do is slight. You see how thick this thing is here? I mean, it's not like the Whipple where you have to cut all the way back to your wiper blade. This thing, slight modification, which is just trimming this little, it's not even an inch. You trim off of that, and it doesn't affect the little weather strip or anything. You don't even cut into that. You just, that's it. That little piece there you cut so it doesn't touch the back of your blower. You trim a little piece out the hood. I just noticed this, and I'll let Weapons X know, but Cause they made this piece for me just so cosmetically you're not looking at just, you know, a cut hood. You just cut that little small area out so the blower can go into here, because this comes all the way across here. So you just cut out that little area. They did make this thing for me, but I guess the engine start changing the shape of it from the heat. What else do we got here? So originally I ordered a 3-inch pulley, and when I received it, I didn't know until I got to the dyno with this thing. Well, I'll also show you a little clip of the dyno session. We took it to the dyno and had my mechanic and my tuner both working on the vehicle. One's tuning the ECU, one's tuning the port injection. Port injection has its own micro squirt computer, so tuning simultaneously. Anyway, didn't get a full pull, never went wide open throttle, because this thing here was making 24 psi at 3200 rpm, 80 miles per hour on the dyno. That's a lot more boost than we were comfortable with, and who knows where the ceiling was. Don't know where it was going to stop. That was part throttle. So I ordered a 3.5-inch, and if you can see here, 3-inch arrived. We're trying to figure out how I end up with a 3-inch instead of 3.5-inch pulley. And I will show you guys so you know, for whoever decides to go with this blower and for future planning, that the absolute largest pulley that you can put on here for the Z06 is a 3-inch. You can't get any bigger than that, because if you take a look, it will, see that there? Look at the space between the pulley and this throttle body area. It will rub, so you can't go any bigger there. Now, with the Camaro, you can go bigger, because this is set up completely different. This is a custom-made pulley. The pulley has to be custom-made, cut for the offset of the Z06. Between the Z06 and the ZL1 Camaro, one has dry sump, one has wet sump. So this belt on the Camaro is actually right here in this blank space, and this is right here where the belt is for the Z06. So these are just swapped. This is here, this is here, and with the belt being up here, the front of this could be larger, and you could go, I'm not sure what size, but you could get over 3 inches. Anyway, with the 18% lower that I have and this 3-inch upper pulley, this thing was making a lot of boost. Some people are, you know, you might get excited by that, but that made me a little nervous. When you push things too hard, sometimes they push back. I don't need that problem. Magnuson's putting out great numbers. I can't wait to see what this thing is actually capable of. There's no videos out there. So this weekend I will be putting on the 9-inch innovators and a Weapons X heat exchanger. So there's the new one. If anyone's interested in the 18%, let me know. I'm gonna sell it for $375 shipped to your door. It works great on the factory blower, and depending on what blower you have on your car, I'm not sure, it will increase your boost, but it's just that it is way too much for this current blower. I guess that's it for now. If you guys got any questions, you can ask me in the comments. If you're interested in that 18% lower crank pulley that I'm pulling off, you can also message me in the comments. And that's pretty much all I got. I I guess we all just really want to see what this thing's capable of. Some people wanted to see the fitment, and I know I was curious because I didn't have anything to look at, you know. But that's that.